Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Munira Hussain from MJB Government Girls PG College, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Today we are going to talk on module factors affecting crystallization of sugar, crystallized and non-crystalline candies from paper Food Science. Dear students, we all are fond of sweets, chocolates, fudges, toffees and all sorts of candies. You must have tasted different types of confectionery products in everyday life. Sometimes as a gift from a visiting guest or in celebrating festivals, birthdays, many a times after a good result you may have got a candy pack from your loved ones and recognition from your dear ones as a token of love. I am sure every day and everybody of us tasted small and hard toffees, sticky gummy jelly-like toffees, or fine creamy textured fudges and fondants. Dear students, do you know how these fine textured confections are made of? It is clear that while making a caramel or candies, we want a smooth texture and not a grainy one. Large sugar crystals will cause a grainy texture in confectionery products. It is imperative to know that prevention of the over-crystallization of sugar is must. Similarly, smooth, imperceptible sugar crystals can be made in bakery products through following a proper procedure. So, in this module, dear students, we will learn to explore the wonder world of candies. This module will make you to learn about basic process of the crystallization of sugar, identify the factors which enhance or retard the processes of crystallization, and to understand types of crystalline and non-crystalline candies. Dear students, now we will go through in details about the different types of sugar which are being used in sugar cookery as well as in confectionery and other sweets and desserts and bakery products. The types of sugar which are being used in food science can be divided broadly into 4 types. That is white sugars, which is also known as refined sugar, brown sugar, liquid sugars and other forms of the sugar. White sugar. The regular white sugar is refined coarse granule powder. It is derived from sugar cane or sugar beets. Sucrose is the main component of it and that are crystal in varying sizes. These are suited to the special need of a particular food preparation because of their unique functional characteristics made through intensive chemical processes. So, white sugar is the most common form of the sugar widely used in all types of sugar-driven products and candies. Dear students, next comes crystalline fructose or fruit sugar. Nowadays, the use of crystalline fructose has been increased in cookery a lot. In dry mixes and such as flavored gelatin and pudding desserts and powdered drinks, this type of sugar is mostly used. Due to a more uniform and small crystal size than regular white sugar, the fructose sugar prohibits solution separation or sedimentation of large crystals to the bottom of the product, which often happens in dry mixes and affects the product quality when made up of the refined regular sugar. The other type of powdered sugar is brown sugar. Brown sugar, as name indicates, is a range brown colored sugar products which are not refined 100%. So they contain some amount of plant molasses or colorants as per the amount of processing they receive and its sources. The brown palm sugars differ in texture and taste from brown cane sugar but are often minimally processed as to still contain trace minerals too. Brown sugars can be used in equal proportion in place of white refined sugars as their relative sweetness is at par as white sugar. Dear students, you can obtain different types of brown sugars also which vary in colors. The lighter types are generally used in baking and making butterscotch, condiments and glazes. The rich full flavor of dark brown sugar makes it good for gingerbread, mincemeat, baked beans and other full flavored foods. So brown sugar is a versatile type of sugar group which can be used in a wide range of the sweet products. Next comes evaporated cane juice and sucanate. Evaporated cane juice, commonly known as good or Indian jaggery, is the common name of the sugar produced directly from milled cane juice using a single crystallization process. Basically, it is a derived sugar cane juice. The crystals retain their molasses, creating a very distinctive and quite strong flavor, along with other impurities which may be present in the cane. The granular texture can also manifest in finished baked goods, causing a disappointing texture, and the strong flavor can be unpleasant, especially when mixed with other intense flavors like citrus or chocolates. So, the use of brown sugar, particularly the gur, is limited, but it is very distinct and pleasant in many of the places. The other specific type of sugars are turbinado, muscovado, demerara, and ropadura. Let's explain these in brief. Turbinado sugar is raw sugar which has been partially processed where only the surface molasses has been washed off. It has a bland color and mild brown sugar flavor and is often used in tea and other beverages. Muscovado sugar is a British primarily, especially brown sugar, is very dark brown and has a particularly strong molasses flavor. The minimally processed crystals are slightly coarser and stickier in texture than regular brown sugar. Popular in England, Demerara sugar is a light brown raw sugar with large golden crystals which are slightly sticky from the adhering molasses. It is often used in tea, coffee or on top of the hot cereals and it has a taste and texture that some people adore. Ropadura is the Portuguese name for a form of sugarcane juice common in Latin American countries such as Brazil and Venezuela, where it is known as Papillon and Punella and it is also used in Caribbean countries. Next come much popular type of sugar, that is palm sugar. Palm sugar varies in color from a light golden color to a rich dark brown. It tends to be extremely grainy with dried forms being highly crumbly and it is typically minimally processed. Many people like to use palm sugar in cooking because it is so coarse and unprocessed and many Southeast Asian recipes call specifically for palm sugar. Palm sugar is lower on the glycemic index than cane or beet sugar, so it has nutritional perspectives also. Dear students, now comes firm ball stage. Firm ball stage is a cooking term meaning that sugar syrup being heated has reached 118 to 121 degrees Celsius of temperature, and it is a test of how hot sugar syrup is and how much water is left in it. At this point of heating, the sugar concentration in the syrup is around 87%. To taste this stage, when a small amount of the sugar syrup dropped from a spoon into a cup of cold water, the syrup will form a firm ball or a firm clump. The ball, when takes out of the water, will hold its shape, but it is very pliable. We can press it up to a certain extent. The firm ball stage is being used for the in making of the recipes like caramels, nuggets, taffy, etc. So, dear students, after going through the common forms of dry powder sugars, now we will discuss about some more common and important types of liquid forms of sugar. In the liquid form categories of the sugar, first come invert sugar. Invert sugar is basically a derivative of the sucrose, which is obtained by the acid, alkaline or enzymatic hydrolysis of the sucrose into its monosaccharides components, that is glucose and fructose. This mixture is in liquid form because after hydrolysis of the sucrose, the crystallization capacity of the sucrose lost. The hydrolysis can also be induced by heating the aqueous solution of the sugar. In food science, the invert sugar can be made from boiling sucrose with lemon juice or any other type of acid. This phenomenon is very useful in making crystalline and non-crystalline candies where crystal growth is needed to be controlled or retarded and checked. In cookery, boiling of sugar syrup up to 114 degrees Celsius hydrolyzes the sucrose into invert sugar in such an amount which is enough to prevent the sugar crystallization totally. This temperature is mainly used for making different types of candies where we use this phenomenon to control the crystal growth. In this way, through inversion of the sugar, a supersaturated sugar solution has been made and non-crystalline candies are being made from that. This role of invert sugar is also working in making of jam and jellies, where despite of a supersaturated sugar solution, crystallization has not been done. Similarly, during storage of these products, presence of invert sugar retards crystallization, and the separation of the solution like squashes, sherbets, jams, jellies has been checked. Dear students, the next type of liquid sugar is corn syrup, which is also a very well known and widely used type of sugar. High fructose corn syrup contains 55% fructose and 45% glucose, which makes it virtually as sweet as sucrose or natural honey. Today, high fructose corn syrup has replaced pure sugar as the main sweetener in most commercial carbonated beverages. High fructose corn syrup is also hiding in products like salad dressings, spaghetti sauce, and whole wheat bread, and it is often one of the first ingredients in the cake mixes. Cookies, sauces, breakfast cereals, and commercial baked goods also contains corn syrup. The other type of liquid sugars which are also used in food science as well as in preparation of many of the foods are agave syrup, yacon syrup, and rice syrup. The agave syrup is very high in fructose. Depending on the brand, agave have contain as much as 92% fructose. Yacon syrup is a sugar substitute native to the Andean region of South America. It is glucose free and does not increase blood sugar levels. The syrup is derived from the roots of the yacon plant, contains up to 50% of fructooligosaccharides. Rice syrup is a natural sweetener which is made from cooked brown rice, and it is less sweet than other forms of sugar, so used in many specific recipes in specific region of the world. The other more common varieties of the liquid sugars are molasses and maple syrup. Molasses, which is thick brown to deep black color honey-like substance made as a byproduct of processing of cane and beetroot sugars. It only contains about half of the sucrose as compared to the regular sugar. So its use are more versatile and brings many distinctive characteristics in the products where it is being used. Maple syrup. It is whisker amber liquid syrup with a sugar content of 60%. This maple syrup may be further reduced to create thicker delicacies such as maple butter, maple cream, and maple sugar. The molasses are obtained into two types, that is regular and black strap, and they are used accordingly to its color in many of the recipes where the color is more important. So students, after going through all these stages of sugar cookery, we now come to the end stages of it, that is clear liquid stage and caramel stage. After being boiled up to soft crack stage, sugar become 100% in the syrup and is in liquid form. Once the syrup has passed hard crack stage, the cold water test won't show anything other than hard, brittle strands of sugar when dropped into the water. Furthermore, there are more uses for sugar syrup which has been boiled up to this high temperature other than as a dessert decoration or a coloring additive to foods which need to be colored brown, such as gravies and toffees. At this point, there is little or no water left in the syrup, and the sugar begins to break down, creating rich flavors as the sugar caramelizes, but which gradually become bitterer and burnt in flavor. Dear students, as I say, honey is the most likely type of liquid sugar. Let's have a look about the detailed behavior of the honey in food science. Honey exists in the beehive or is obtained by the extraction, settling or straining without adding heat from the beehives. Raw honey contains some pollen and many contain small particles of wax. Honey is a mixture of sugars and other compounds chemically. The compounds are mainly fructose and glucose. Honey contains trace amounts of several vitamins and minerals and also contains tiny amounts of several compounds thought to function as antioxidants and antimicrobial. The specific composition of any batch of honey depends on the flower available to the bees that produced by the honey. If those flowers happen to be heavily sprayed with pesticides, then those poisons will be in the honey too. So make sure you can trust your source before buying. In recently, organic honey is also been in the market, which has no specific or extra nutrition and extra characteristics, but they are made through organic procedure and safe from pesticides and other environmental pollutants. Dear students, next we will discuss about the sorghum syrup. It is also a form of liquid sugar which is produced from sorghum canes grown across much of the south world. Sorghum is a labor-intensive crop, so it fell out of use during World War II. when was a shortage of farm labor to produce it. After the war, industrial farming and food processing techniques made sugarcane and later corn syrup much cheaper than sorghum to produce, and it fell into obscurity and the use of it has been more limited. Sorghum syrup is making a comeback in real food circles because sorghum is a highly nutritious, gluten-free, ancient cereal grain that is minimally processed into syrup and it still contains a lot of antioxidants, vitamins, and trace elements. Sorghum syrup has a mild, unique flavor that is a little like molasses and can be used anywhere you would use molasses, honey, or maple syrup. Furthermore, though sugar alcohols have fewer calories than sugar, but most of them aren't as sweet, so more must be used to get the same sweetening effect. Still, there is a range of sweetness and impact on blood sugar among the sugar alcohols. For example, maltitol has 75% of the blood sugar impact of sugar but only 75% of sweetness, so they end up being equal in amounts as of sugar in the end. Xylitol is just as sweet as cane sugar but has a low glycemic index of 13 and also helps prevent tooth decay by inhibiting bacterial growth in the mouth. Erythritol is only 70% as sweet as cane sugar but has zero glycemic index and is sometimes recommended for people fighting with diabetes. Glycerol is a liquid derived from vegetable oils, but it is only 60% as sweet as cane sugar and can be hard to use in food industry practically. Swerve is the latest natural sweetener to hit the market. Swerve is made from a combination of erythritol, oligosaccharides and natural flavors that give it excellent baking and cooking functionality. Unlike other sugars, alcohol swerve even has the ability to brown and caramelize. So their use are still very interesting in sugar cookery as well as in food science. Dear students, let's have a comparative look of the performance of sugar alcohols. From the table, you can very well observe that the glycemic index of maltitol is comparatively higher, that is 36. Otherwise, xylitol and other alcohols like sorbitol, mannitol have comparatively very low glycemic index. Their calorific value per 100 gram is around 270 to up to 20, least from erythritol. Dear students, now also have a look on comparative sweetness of different types of sugar which we have discussed earlier. The lactose, which is a milk sugar, is a disaccharide, has least sweetness, that is 0.16. Maltose is higher than that. Sorbitol only 0.6. Glucose 0.74 to 8. Sucrose 1. It is also considered as reference sugar. So the lactose, maltose, sorbitol and glucose has lower sweetness than sucrose, while fructose, cyclamates, glycosides, aspartame and other sugars have high sweetness, very high sweetness in comparison to the reference sucrose sugar. Maximum is the lugdunum, that is 3 lakhs times higher than the sucrose. These are all mainly used for the non-sugar sweeteners in the market. Dear students, after going through different types of sugar, let's have a look on the uses of sugar in food industry. Sugar is not just a sweetener, it can be used in a number of different ways. First is as a preservative. At the right concentration, sugar helps to stop microorganism growth and so prevents food from spoilage. For example, as in jams and other preserves. This is why reduced sugar jams spoil much more quickly than traditional jams. Sugar helps to produce subtle changes in flavor. Sugar offsets the acidity and sour flavor in many foods such as mayonnaise, tomato products, and tart fruits like gooseberries and grapefruits. As a bulking agent, sugar gives the characteristic textures to a variety of foods, including jams, ice creams, and cakes. The other function of sugar is to raise the boiling point or lowering the freezing point of the substances. This is essential in some recipes, for example, making ice creams and boiling candies. The other uses of sugar includes that it speeds up the process of fermentation by helping the growth of the yeast in baking and bakery products. This makes the dough rise fast. For example, bread and tea cakes. It makes cake light and open textured when it is beaten with butter or egg in the recipe through the process of creaming. The low concentration of sugar speeds the effectiveness of baker's yeast by providing an immediate, fast cooking sources of nourishment for its growth, thus hastening the leavening process. The ability of sugar to crystallize gives a delightful variety in cookery and makes a huge proportion of candies and confectionery products. Sugar gives puddings, bread, buns, and bread rolls a good flavor and a characteristic golden brown color and flavors due to caramelization and a tender, light, and even texture to these products. Dear students, now it's time to sum up. We first make sure that to have a candy, we must have a supersaturated solution. To get a supersaturated solution, a desired texture of candy is important. The sugar solution must be boiled at a regular temperature. Then there are many factors which affect crystal growth. A perfect candy who has smooth creamy texture with small imperceptible sugar crystals. There are many factors which can induce or retard crystal growth and the crystal formation in the process of crystallization. So, through proper manipulation of these factors, we can induce or reduce the rate of crystallization. Furthermore, there are two queens of the confectionery kingdom, that is crystalline and non-crystalline candies, which are also known as amorphous candies. The candy making has three major steps, that is boiling sugar syrup to a desired temperature, cooling the syrup to a proper temperature so to get it supersaturated, and thirdly beating the syrup in case of crystalline candy and shaping it, while in case of non-crystalline candies the boiled solution is being cooled and shaped as required. So, I hope we have explored a lot about the world of confectionery to a certain extent, and now I hope you will enjoy the different types of candies by appreciating the techniques and skills put behind in its making.